Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother***ing ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. I'm Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is Hidden Doorway, Dan Ryan.
Why do you do what you do? It's the weirdest fucking translation.
It's the end of our summer series, so we're discussing Goonies II for NES. Randomly punch that wall because the Stone Age Gamer Podcast starts now.
Because there's no other way to find out where the hell to go.
Oh, I have thoughts on this game, man.
Yeah.
I did not beat it with my own hands, I will say that.
Do you ever?
I mean, wait, what are we talking about?
Look, we're all friends here, Kris. Every now and again, you got to court-martial the private.
Yes. Oh, boy, all right.
By far, and I've never heard anyone else use it other than me, but my favorite euphemism for masturbation is court-martialing the private, and it just makes me fucking laugh every time. I don't know why.
Well, hi everyone. This is episode 377. It's the week of September 24th, 2021, and before we get into anything at all, I do have something important to talk about. Not last week's show, but the week before, we ran a commercial for the Weekend Rental podcast, and they had the folks from Ramble, Record, Repeat on there. We did a commercial for that, and the idea of the commercial was to be taking the piss out of us for being bad, me in particular, for being bad at writing commercials. And in retrospect, it may have come off as we were like taking a shit on the Ramble, Record, Repeat podcast, which was absolutely not the intent. We have nothing but respect for them and for the Weekend Rental guys, and I'm sorry if there was any misunderstanding there. The joke was intended to be on me, and if anything, it was very successful because I'm so bad at writing. As an example, I'm so bad at writing commercials that it sounded like we were insulting people. So, in fact, I'm very good at being very bad at my job.
You really are. It's outstanding.
I should do this shit professionally.
I mean, maybe. I just read it, Kris. I just read it in ad-lib. It's really almost, it's almost nothing like what you write. By
Sometimes.
The end of it. Sometimes. That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, how are you?
I'm doing pretty okay. This is another week of the kids being in school, and I'm again I have enough time to do my job and do it with gusto. I'm getting some other things done around the house and a couple of chores here and there. It's just been great. It's been wonderful and lovely. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm here, Kris. I'm all right. We had man, over the week, it's another bummer, and I don't want to spend, I'm not going to mention it too long, but the fucking bird died, man, and
I
made me
saw
really
that.
sad. Yeah, and it's to be expected, you fall out of a fucking tree and get nuzzled by a dog as a wee tot. You're probably not long for this world, but she made it 18, 19 months, something like that, which
you had that bird for a while.
In captivity, like wild North American robins that end up in an airport or a Walmart or whatever, because that's what it is. She was an airport bird. They really don't, their life expectancy is a year to 2 years is really about what it is. In the wild, some of them can certainly get older than that, but their life expectancy isn't terribly long. And she, over the last week or two, had gone blind in both eyes, and her feet were all fucked up, and her one wing never really worked very well, and it was just sad, it just, man, there's no cheaping anywhere in the house, so I gotta go steal another fucking bird. Makes me go climb a tree and steal another fucking bird. Sucks. That's where I'm at right now. Because I could go to PetSmart.
That I would go with, but you know, you got to do what you got to do.
I don't know. Like, what should I go for next? Like a turkey? I feel like that's too big. Go from an airport bird to a fucking turkey. Just lives in my house now. No. Yeah, man. It was kind of a shitty end to the weekend. But it is what it is. What are you gonna do? It's part of having pets. You know, it's like, you know, God willing and the creek don't rise, you're gonna fucking outlive most of them. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna put another stone outside. It's gonna be a fucking pet cemetery situation in my house a couple of years. Kind of freaked out about it.
Here, I got a fun little pivot for you.
Oh, a pivot.
From I just staying in the general vicinity of birds. I was coming home from, you know, picking up the kids from school, and we passed a woman riding her bike with a parrot on her shoulder.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah. She seemed, you know what, that was my initial thought, but she seemed really upset about it.
Fucking bird. I don't even know whose it is. It's just on my shoulder.
Like, you would think that if you're gonna go bike riding with your parrot on your shoulder, that you're gonna be, you know, a somewhat jovial person, but this looked like she seemed really unhappy about life at that particular moment.
Wow, that's really weird.
It was
an
unusual look.
What kind of life experience gets you to that point? Like, what happened to that lady to, like, make her upset? And perhaps she thought the cure to her malaise was to take the parrot out for a bike ride, but like upon riding the bike with the parrot on her shoulder, found it wasn't brightening her day. It wasn't blowing her skirt up, as it were. It's just, I think about that sometimes. It's one of those weird car thoughts. You know, you ever have weird car thoughts when you're, I know that sounds like I'm setting up a joke. I'm not. This is just a serious.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about the joy of, you know, bike riding with a skirt on. Like, bike riding with a skirt on, that'll blow your skirt up.
It will. Like, that would be the one. Like, driving in a car, I often just think of random shit. And like, I was driving around the other day, I was sitting in traffic on the way to work, going over the bridge, and I was like, fuck, man, I am so angry at all of these people right now. This is fucking 7:30 in the morning. I'm just sitting on the bridge. I was mad. And not only do I not know any of these people that I am angry at currently, I will almost assuredly never meet any of them. I find that very strange. All these people that I share a common thing with, a common commute in the morning, never meet them. I don't really have a point to this, Chris. It's just a random car thought.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could say that I occasionally have random car thoughts, but whenever I think of Dan and car, I think of you and me going to the Philly Classic and, like, my freaking car battery dying, and you and me, like, in the middle of traffic jumping out of my car to, like, jiggle some wires underneath my...
Yeah, that was dangerous. That wasn't great.
That was an experience.
We might die right now, Chris. Like, oh, well, it's a hell of a way to go.
Please don't kill us. Please don't kill us. Thank you for driving around us instead of into us.
What fucking car even was that? It was like a Chevy something, wasn't it?
That was the 93 teal Cavalier station wagon.
I was going to say it was a Cavalier, but I didn't want to sound like... I didn't want to be cavalier with my answer there, so... Oh, see what I did there? Oh, it's fucking...
So I'm still trying to figure out exactly what happened here, but I did actually get the label printed out. Like, then it just kind of printed out even further for some reason. So I don't know what that was about, but I do have all of them. The question is, all right, so for our listening audience... I
was going to say, don't even explain it. Just leave it in like that and make it seem like Evan fucked up the editing. Like there's a whole chunk that people missed.
I'm using P-Touch tape to make end labels for my loose Game Boy carts. I'm putting them on the plastic cases, not the cartridges themselves. I'm not a monster.
I'm using Sharpie, just writing right down the side.
Just carving right in. I got a box cutter here. I'm just carving the names into the back. Then I'm going to rub a crayon over it so you can see it better.
Oh, yeah. I'm making etchings. Etchings in my Game Boy labels.
So I'm out of P-Touch tape, and I messed up on Rescue of Princess Blobette. There's no space between Rescue and of. Do I just deal with it?
No.
Or do I?
God, no.
Yeah, no, I can't do it.
You can't.
I cannot do it.
Not only can you not, but you also shouldn't.
Damn
it, we have standards here at the Stone Age Gamer Podcast.
We do, God damn it.
They're low, but we have them.
Yes. We have them and occasionally exercise them. All right, so yeah. Ren and Stimpy Space Cadet, that's enough. There's just not enough room for the adventures there.
No.
I think that's
okay.
ADV, but then, yeah, it's just Ren and Stimpy Space Cadet Adventures for Game Boy. I'm never going to play this game.
Right, like, does it really matter at the end of the day?
It doesn't, because I can tell what it is if I need to. And that's the whole purpose of these things. That's the entire porpoise right there.
The entire porpoise.
Top to bottom. So what you been up to, huh? Anything fun this week?
Oh, I finished Psychonauts 2.
Oh, wow. You just reminded me of a bunch of other stuff I have to talk about. Go on.
Oh, okay. It was fucking great. It was Game of the Year. I don't think there's actually any debate for that for me. It was fucking spectacular from start to finish. It did end a little sooner than I wanted it to. I mean, that's also because Tiff and I just kind of like barreled right on through it. Mm-hmm. Like the girls, I had off of work on Thursday, and the girls did not have off of school. So Tiff and I sat down, like I drove the kids to work Thursday morning, and Tiff and I sat down. School? I drove the kids to to work. They're in the factory now. They're old enough. They have a job. They're making rocking chairs. It's very strange.
Shoes.
No, I drove the kids to school.
Shoe mines.
Shoe mines?
Yeah, the shoe mines.
Yeah,
shoe mines. It was either that or the bullion pits, right?
Oh, yes.
Go in those caves and dig up the bullion.
Drop the kids off at school, and came home and had a delicious Wawa breakfast. Man, the sausage and egg bowl with chipotle sauce on it. That is good shit. Like, I look forward to that shit. That's how good it is. But I had a delicious.
I look forward to the ensuing diarrhea.
I do. Like, whatever. That's fine. I'm an adult. I make my own bad choices. Yeah, it's fine. I have the bidet. Remember?
That's true.
No problem. And then we just sat down and finished Psychonauts that day.
That sounds magical.
We just played until I had to go get the kids. It was like, all right, well, this is outstanding. And it really, really was. It did, like I said, it did kind of like, oh, it's over. And not in a like, man, that was a lame ending, but just in a, like, I could have done this for another, like, 10 hours. I could have had more. Which I think is a good thing,
Yeah, it's one, you always would rather it be too short than too long, and two, I always appreciate a good short game. Like, it doesn't, it's in no danger of outstaying its welcome. Like, if it's too short, that's one thing, right? But if it told the story it was going to tell, it was done, and when they were done. The end. That's good.
It was a wonderful story. It was very creative. There are a couple things like in a lot of Tim Schafer games, there's a lot of you can play it the way that you want, right? Like, you get all of these crazy powers that you don't have to use. Like, if you don't want to, if that's not the style of game you want to play, don't play it that way. You can you can kind of customize the way you play through it. Like, I use the Psy Blast a lot. and I use the little mental ball thing that you can roll around on, because I like to move through things quickly and bounce around. It's fun. But I know other people that will play this game and will just focus on like the hand-to-hand combat and will upgrade all their skills in that particular skill tree, or focus on the pyrokinesis or whatever it is. And I think that's really cool that you have all these options to ultimately get through this just wonderfully creative and heartfelt and touching just fucking masterpiece of a video game. 10 out of 10 would play
fantastic.
Again. Yeah. Would play again.
It's fantastic.
And then I saved up not a ton of stones because my Japanese pad account is really just well, I'm addicted to gambling, so I can just do it here. And with like little consequences. And I can, save stones on my North American account. And, which I do, and it works out pretty well. I'm up to like 500 stones again on my North American account, and the rest of my other accounts and my alt account and all that other shit that I have, which is way too much, but they're all like 0 stones. Because the Star Wars collab came out, and my luck on that particular rare egg machine has been fucking atrocious. I just as bad, like, if another fucking Chewbacca and Padme pop out of these fucking machines, I'm gonna throw my phone. I just want Yoda. He's the orb skin card, which means he's purchasable for real money, except I can't do that anymore because all of my Japanese pad accounts are now on iOS devices. So I can't just buy him, and he's, like, really the only thing that I wanted out of there. Like, I'm happy that I got a couple other things, like I got Kylo Ren, I traded for Vader, there was a metal exchange for Darth Maul, like all that stuff, but I didn't get Obi-Wan, I didn't get Han Solo, I didn't get Ahsoka, I didn't get Luke, and I didn't get Yoda, and like, out of all of those, and I didn't get Rey either. Out of all of them, Yoda's the one that I want, and I can't have him, Kris, and it makes me really sad. And I keep, like, getting 7 stones and then rolling them immediately and getting, like, my 5th Chewbacca or my 3rd Padme. And it makes me... It's really annoying. It's not cool, Kris.
That's a bummer.
It is, right? I mean, it's not. It ultimately doesn't matter. But it kind of is. It's kind of like, fuck, man. I just... God damn it. But it's one of those things where they started over like, I don't know, last year, 18 months or so. They've started putting the rarities that you can trade for, they've kind of separated them out a little bit, where they'll put one really cool card at like the highest level, and that's what you can trade for. Which in this case was Anakin, who can also be Vader, depending on the style you want to play. But then all the other cool cards are like a tier below that, so you have to roll for them. Where like previously, 18 months, it was all the top rarity shit you could trade for. And then once they realized, like, oh, people aren't spending as much money on the game when they can trade for shit. Now we're gonna, bury it, which kind of sucks. Like, I get it from a business standpoint. It just upsets me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, And then what the fuck else have I been doing? There was something else. I can't remember. I started Undertale. That wasn't it, though. I thought there was something else. I was going to play through Undertale with the kids. And we're kind of going back and forth. Like, Katie wants me to do a pacifist run, where, like, you don't kill everything, and Penny is
Have
very
you played
much...
the game before?
No. I mean, I've watched the kids play through it. I've played and, like, helped them a little bit but I haven't started like start to finish. I'm going to play through.
Huh. Yeah, I haven't touched it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like it's really cool. I just wanted to, say like, all right, I feel like that's one of those things we should have done, right? Like you and I should have played through Undertale.
Yeah.
It just feels like we should have.
Many people have told me that. That's just why I bought it. I own the goddamn game.
Yeah, sure. And it's not very long, it's not like a 50-hour quest or anything. But yeah, Penny wants me to murder everything. It's like, I mean, I get it. You're almost 13, but like, could we ease up on the fucking angst a little bit?
No.
Just kind of, no. And we can't. We can't at all. Just not even.
Physically incapable.
It is a whole situation. Just a whole situation, Kris. But, fuck it. I think that's it. I'm sure if you start talking, I'll remember something and be like, oh yeah, this fucking thing.
Well, you just did that to me, actually.
Yeah, see?
Early in the week, I, after we recorded, I fired up the old PlayStation 4 so I could buy Psychonauts.
And?
Well, there was a lot of updates.
Yeah.
Turned on the PS4, was like, you got to update some shit. Okay.
You got 6 years?
So I updated and then rebooted, and then I went to go in the store, and then it was like, you got to update again.
Nah, son. You ain't ready.
So I updated again. And then I went to go buy Psychonauts, and it was on sale for like $3.
Oh, what a price for that game.
Just bought it. I bought the crap out of it. It made me very happy. And then my other mission was, so while that was downloading, I was like, well, I'm trying to see if maybe they eventually added Mega Man Powered Up to PlayStation Network in some way, shape, or form. Because currently my PSP is toast. Because its battery its battery exploded, so I can't even play it plugged in. There's just nothing. There's nowhere for the power to go.
That sucks.
Yeah, so I need to find either a new battery, but I really just want to play Mega Man Powered Up on my television. Which, oh goodness, that just reminded me of something else I got to talk about. So let me write that down before I forget. So yeah, I was just out of poops and giggles. I was like, well, let's see what I can do on my PlayStation 3. So I turned on my PS3 to go to PSN, and wouldn't you know, I had to update my PS3.
Son of a bitch.
And there's the Sony ecosystem for you. Just updates upon updates. So I went into the PlayStation store, and it occurred to me like, oh wait, wasn't there like a whole thing where they almost shut down the PlayStation 3 store? I should probably buy the things that I need to buy on the PlayStation store, right, before I no longer have the option to do so. And so I bought, but didn't really play, but I did fork out the couple of bucks to buy Rocket Knight, which was not a game that I was overly fond of, but it is a Rocket Knight game. So I purchased it in hopes that maybe someday I will play through Sparkster and Rocket Knight. And maybe someday beat Rocket Knight Adventures, though I don't think I'm going to, because I just can't beat the last boss of that game. No matter how many times do it. No matter how many times I get to the end of that game, that fight, I don't even know if it's the last boss for sure, but it's the fight against the evil version of you and the big robots. I can't win that fight. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just cannot do it. So that's not for lack of trying. Gotta love that game. I love Rocket Knight Adventures, but never beat either version of Sparkster, and I really did not care for Rocket Knight when I played the demo. But you know what? It was a piece of gaming history that I wanted to have, kind of like Blaster Master Overdrive. It's not great, it's not terrible, and it's a part of the series. So there we are. That was kind of fun. So I bought those games. I have not tried Psychonauts yet because I really wanted to focus on Axiom Verge 2. Right. I really want to get through that. I don't want to like put that off and start a whole other thing. So because I had already been kind of set it aside a little bit to do my reviews last month and whatnot. So I really got right back into focusing on Axiom Verge 2, and it really is a phenomenal game. It's really somewhat disturbing, kind of in a similar way to the original one, I think. I have a hard time remembering all the weird shit that happened in the original game, but I got to a point, spoiler alert, I'm going to give this one the big old spoilers. So right now, if you don't want to be spoiled on any of the weird shit that happens in Axiom Verge 2, which you probably don't, because it's been surprising to me so far. I know, Dan, you don't care about spoilers, right?
For this one, no.
Okay.
Because I'm going to forget by the time I actually get to it.
And even then, I don't think it's the kind of thing that you are going to be all that, spoiled by, even if you do remember it. So, like in the original game, the drone was in the original game. You could eventually get a drone. Yeah. So in this one, the drone...
it was kind of a drone, but it was more like a bug thing.
Yeah. Which is kind of what you are in this one. You're a little bug-looking robot drone thing that crawls around, and it's nowhere near as powerful as your character. And kind of the theme of this one is that, you know, the lady that you are, you keep getting all these powers, and just like in the original game, this is the kind of thing that just keeps surprising me, is like, you see something is blocking your path, or there's something just you can't get to yet, and you think you know how you're going to get to it because you've played these kinds of games before. And then they'll give you a power that accomplishes what you're trying to accomplish that is so completely different than whatever you thought it was going to be. Like, I was the drone, and there are these like rocks that are clearly destructible rocks. So obviously, I'm going to get some sort of weapon that lets me break through these rocks. Except I didn't. I got a power-up for my little grapple hook thing, where I could grab something with my grapple hook, charge it, and then it would basically launch me as a spin-around screw attack style, and that's how you get through the rocks. It never would have seen that coming. So there comes a point in the story, the drone is kind of represented by a little boy who, if you know anything about Tom Happ's life, is very clearly intended to be like a parallel to his son in real life. Right. Who is, had a bunch of health issues and whatnot, and so has much more limited mobility, but also much stronger in certain ways. And that's kind of how the drone works. Well, there comes a point where you are following the advice of one of these, I forget what they call them, but kind of like how the boy is the drone. There are these other entities that are these like technological entities. You're following their advice to get power-ups. And once you get this one power-up, she's like, all right, bye. She steals your body and you're stuck in the drone.
Oh, shit.
So I was like, oh, shit, that was exactly my reaction. So I'm stuck as the drone, but like the little boy's still in there too. So like the two of you are kind of working together, and he's like, I think I know something that might get you your human form back, more or less. And you're like, well, all right. Because one of the themes is like, as you're getting more powerful, you're losing more of your humanity in the process.
Okay. I like that theme.
You know, because all of these power, like, remember in the original game too, it was like you eventually start like glitching through walls and stuff because you're coming to realize you're less human than you are like computer program and whatnot. Right. So this is a kind of a similar situation where the more power-ups you have, the less human you are. And this one was really just there was something really disturbing about this one when I saw it. And I mean, it could just be a me thing why it hit me this way, but so the drone's like, all right, so check it out, there might be this power up that'll more or less get you back to your human form. So you get it, and then you're still the drone, and they're like, so this will basically transform you back into your human form, kinda. Like, okay, so you press the button and like you instantly transform back into the same shape as your human form, more or less, but like really fucked up looking and like black and gray and whatnot. I was like, oh, damn. All right. But you control and move exactly like you did in your human form, but it's definitely not you. You're just transforming from the drone. Like, you are not human. And it's... So you're like a human drone hybrid? Your consciousness is inside of this machine. Like, your consciousness is still exactly what it was. That hasn't changed. But since your body's gone, your drone can transform into this weird techno-organic version of yourself, which was just subtly disturbing to me.
Yeah.
Game's really good, man. It is an excellent Metroidvania. It surprises me at every turn. I get lost a lot, which is fine. There's just it's much like the original Axiom Verge. you can't just play it like it's a Metroid game. You got to look at things differently. Like I keep looking at all these places like I can get up there if I keep doing this, and then you just can't. It's like, okay, there's got to be something else around here that will get me the ability to do that. I'm very, very much enjoying the game, and it is worthy of any and all hype that it has gotten. It runs differently. I can understand why it wouldn't grab certain people, because it's its own thing. It is just like I always said, how people saying that the original Axiom Verge was basically just Super Metroid, like as some sort of selling point, like that is doing that game such a tremendous disservice. Like, yeah, there are some visual things that are very Metroid, and it's like it's a Metroidvania, but outside of that, it is intrinsically not Metroid, and that's the same thing I feel about Axiom Verge too. It is very much its own thing, just in style. I don't really know how else to say it.
It's nice when you can get those sorts of like really, you can tell, like playing through Axiom Verge very, very similarly to Psychonauts. Like, this is a very personal game for this dude.
Yeah,
like he is telling a story, and it might be a fucking weirdo story, and like, you know, it's definitely not for everyone, much in the same way, and this is going to sound like really fucking schmarmy, and I don't mean it to, but I mean, whatever, I also don't care. Much in the same way that, like, David Lynch movies are not for everybody, but they are these really interesting personal stories that he is telling in his own, like, very unique way. But, like, if you want to sit down and just like, oh, you want to watch a movie, you know, and you're like, let's put a movie on. Doesn't that sound fun? We'll watch a movie. Eraserhead is not what you put on. You know, like, that's just never going to be the case. So, I feel Axiom Verge shares a very similar kind of vibe with that.
Yeah, like, it's not like total art house. It's just, you just have to approach playing it a little bit differently. It's got a very unique mood.
Yeah, it's a whole mood.
On the complete opposite side of the spectrum,
Mario Party.
No, actually, we have not played any Mario Party, and I'll get to why after I talk about this one, because this is kind of a huge deal. I have been playing Castlevania Grimoire of Souls.
Ooh. Is that right. The iOS one?
That's the all-new Castlevania game that just came out. Yeah. It's technically all new. The game did release, like, this was announced back in, like, 2019, and then it did come out in 2019 in Canada. And maybe China, maybe, like, some region in China, too, but it was Canada and, like, maybe China, and that was it. And it was up for a year, and then it disappeared.
Right.
And, like, but wait, what? It's a Castlevania game. Like, I get it's a mobile game. I was going to
play that.
But it looks like Castlevania. You can be like all these different Castlevania characters and side-scrolling Castlevania kind of things. Like, okay, neat. So
I am downloading it currently because it's part of Apple Arcade.
Exactly. So it popped up as an Apple Arcade title, an Apple Arcade exclusive, I believe. So I signed up for a free 1-month trial of Apple Arcade just so that I could download and try this game. So I downloaded it on my Apple TV. I wirelessly connected my PlayStation 4 controller to the TV. So thanks again, guys, for the PS4 controller so I could play this game properly. And it is fine. It is fine at best. It's very much a mobile game, as in, like, it's not riddled with microtransactions, at least not that I can tell, but it is riddled with, like, 5 or 6 different kinds of currency, the way the levels progress. It's very, very mobile game. And
it's not ideal.
It's not ideal. The thing about it is that there's something there.
Thing of it is,
like, there's a it's not, visually ugly, and there was definitely a lot of effort put into this game's presentation. Like, it's got voice acting and some really cool looking cinematics and whatnot. The story is, kind of nonsense, but it has to be in order to be like, here's an excuse to play as Alucard and Simon Belmont and Maria Renard, like all these characters that have no business being in the same place at the same time. It definitely takes place. They paid attention to the lore. It takes place after Dawn of Sorrow, and Genya Kato and Soma Cruz and whatnot. It's all referenced right in there, very specifically. And it's got a lot of really cool touches, and also the gameplay itself is pretty neat. It's very action Castlevania, so we're not talking Metroidvania at all here. We're talking like traditional action stage, beginning, middle, and end Castlevania, which is cool. I love those kind of Castlevania games.
Sure.
Genuinely love those. And so the idea of having a new one of those is pretty darn cool. And if it wasn't for the mobile trappings of this, and maybe a bit of a lack of polish, the levels themselves are kind of dull, but there's a really kind of a neat gameplay conceit going on where, like, so you think of your action Castlevania games, and it's like, jump and attack, and that's basically it. And this more or less has that jump and attack, but it's also got, like, light combo system kind of stuff going on. Like, instead of just swinging your whip, he swings the whip once, then, does a follow-up, and then other follow-up. Like, it's got more battle mechanics in it. So it's like playing through a Castlevania stage, but with more than just single attack, which is a really neat concept.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Thinking about just playing through the original Castlevania, but with an actual battle system instead of just swing whip, beat bad guy.
Swing whip, go smush.
Nothing against swing whip, beat bad guy. That's the core of Castlevania. That's great.
Sure.
But this was a really neat idea for modernizing traditional Castlevania gameplay. And it's unfortunate that it's just kind of tied to this kind of shitty mobile game. So I'll be canceling my Apple Arcade, probably pretty soon. I'm not going to keep paying for that service. I'm never going to play anything else on there.
No, I know. I got it for free for a year and barely use it.
Yeah, I mean, no offense. There's just nothing on there that I need.
It's just, where the fuck am I going to get the time?
Exactly. I'm playing plenty of games. I am full of video games right now. Don't need anything else. But I had to try Grimoire of Souls. If they were able to take this, polish it, and turn it into a console game, there's something here. Like, this gives me hope for like a future of the Castlevania franchise that isn't rooted in completely
mobile gaming.
Even not even mobile gaming, but completely rooted in the past. Like, we had this conversation, I think we talked about it last week, about the whole Mega Man 11 thing. Like, 9 and 10 were a cute little excursion, but now when you look at them, when you're playing through Mega Man, like, there's this clear evolution that goes from 6 to 7 to 8, and then 9 goes all the way back to 2, visually and everything, and it just feels weird. Like, that progression just feels kind of off. And it almost feels like if you're going to do a Castlevania game that's pure action like this, chances are they'd want to go all the way back. And like, this actually kind of feels like an interesting evolution to a degree of, like, if this was cleaned up and polished, it could be an interesting evolution to what we had in the last proper action Castlevania, which was, I think, Rondo of Blood, which is ages ago.
Yeah, probably.
And that's cool. It gives me hope that there's something in Castlevania for the future. So, hooray.
Well, all right then. I will let you know next week. Remind me to talk about how it plays on mobile.
Yeah, I thought about,
because I will give it a shot.
Since I've signed up for the Apple Arcade, I might want to try it with the virtual buttons and whatnot. But I figured playing it with a controller was really how to do it, and it's not terrible. It's fine. It's just fine. And I definitely had some fun with it. The writing is kind of clever. Like when you first unlock Maria Renard, she's like the third character. You start off as Alucard, and like the thing is, you go into all these different books, and then Alucard's like, "Why was I weak as hell in that book?" It's like, well, it just kind of puts you where you were at that time if you go in there or something like that. Or I don't remember how.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so there's some sort of explanation as to why Alucard isn't just like devouring
destroying everything.
Exactly. So the second character you unlock is Simon Belmont, who's just, you know, big and beefy, not like stupid, but like, you know, he's from that era, so there's a lot of sciencey stuff that he does not really understand. The third
big meaty men slapping meat.
Exactly. The third character you run into that you unlock is Maria Renard, but not like the grown-up one from Symphony. It's the little kid from Rondo of Blood. And Simon,
that's cool.
Simon is not having it. He's like, that's a kid. She's a little girl. Like, we're not going to send a little girl into battle. And Alucard's like, no, I fought with this girl before. She's super strong. He's like, I don't care. She's like 6. What are you doing?
we can't do this. We just can't.
He eventually came around. He's like, and Alucard's like, no, seriously, you have no idea how powerful this girl is. Like, even at this age, she will wreck your shit. And Simon was like, all right, cool. You have my respect. Sorry for the misunderstanding. Have at it.
Might be. It
was neat. It is a neat game. If you're a huge Castlevania fan, I definitely recommend giving it a try. It's not going to satisfy you. It's not going to be like, all right, this was great. I'm so glad I did this. But it's definitely better than not doing it. Like, it's the kind of thing you should definitely experience because there's something in there, and that's always nice to see.
I got a couple stories like from high school about that. Of like, well, I'm glad I experienced this, but didn't satisfy me. On to the next one. Ask your parents, kids, if you're listening with them. I know we still have a couple people that have children that listen to this podcast with their kids, and I just don't understand that. We could not make it any more clear, but whatever. It's fine.
So last, but certainly not least, the highlight of my week has been Cruis'n Blast.
Oh, I'm excited.
Holy crap, this game is everything I could have wanted it to be. Was so completely worth the $40, not just because I played through, you know, the 20 some odd races. Like, it doesn't have a ton of content. This is not Horizon Chase Turbo. It was $40 for the physical copy. And it doesn't have like an insane number of tracks, but playing through those, I was laughing and smiling so much just playing it by myself. And that was great. But even that would have, personally, I would have been happy with that at the $40. But where this game is really earning its place is in the multiplayer. We have played Cruis'n Blast like every other night since we got the game as a family.
That is awesome.
This is why it works for our situation. 4-year-old Ellie, 8-year-old John, and then me and Karen. Vastly different skill levels between the 4 of us. Every race is a nail biter.
Really?
This game's AI is, I don't want to use the word broken because it's very intentional. This has like the craziest rubber band AI I've ever seen. And its purpose is to keep all the players racing close to each other at all times. You can't drive off the course. There's no going off course. There's no
out of bounds.
If you stop driving, it will start driving for you. and it will have you driving fast enough to catch up with everybody who's ahead of you. Which isn't to say that skill doesn't matter, but almost every race will come down to using nitros at the very end of the race to try to see who can blast past the finish line first. So this does not happen in Mario Kart. In Mario Kart, even with the auto steering and the auto driving on, Ellie is always in the deadest of dead last.
Yep.
And we all sit there and wait for her to cross the finish line for 3 minutes after we finish the race. As soon as one person finishes the race is over. There's no falling off the sides. Smart. There's no going backwards. You can't turn around if you tried. There's no turning around. There's no just stopping. It will take over for you if you're not going forward. No matter what, Ellie will come in first, rarely come in first, but Ellie will come in second or third just as often as John or Karen. Like
not you. though.
Well, I mean, there is definitely still a decent level of skill involved, and I know how to do all the tricks and stuff in the game, so I'm...
well, yeah.
But I will occasionally just hang back and let the kids take the victory and watch them fight it out while I'm looking for the unlocks and stuff, because every course has 3 keys in it, and those keys are how you unlock the new cars, which is also stupid fun, because replaying the courses themselves are so completely insane. There's like this one course where there's like a giant fist comes at you, and then you realize that giant fist was attached to a giant Yeti, and then you go over a gigantic jump, and that another gigantic Yeti punches the ground, which then splits open before you can land on the ground, and so you fall through the hole into this like underground jungle paradise where 2 more giant Yetis are having a giant fist fight in the background.
Naturally.
Game's nuts.
That's just what Yetis do.
It's just what they do.
It's more like a documentary than anything.
The courses are so much fun. Hold on a second. There, just had to write that one down. The courses are stupid fun as it is, and then going through them repeated times to try and find all the keys so you can unlock more vehicles is also fun, because everything you do in multiplayer is cumulative. So no matter who gets who gets the money just goes into the game's pot. If 3 people are using the same car, all the experience points that they earn during that match will go into that car's leveling up system. And as you level up the cars, then you can unlock new stupid things like neon lights and body kits and engines and stuff, which is great for the cars. And you just keep going with the cars and keep getting weirder cars or motorcycles or a school bus or a unicorn or a triceratops or a shark.
Robot unicorn attack.
Oh my God. It's a unicorn, and you can change the colors of the unicorns. It's like, Ellie, you can be a pink unicorn. Yes. That's how I got it in the first place. I unlocked the pink unicorn first thing, and you can change it to any color you want right off the bat, and then you could add neon lights to the unicorn, which makes like its hooves burst into flames or something when it's walking. And what's hilarious is that they control and sound like cars.
All right. I was interested. You might have just sold me on a unicorn, a flaming hooved unicorn that controls and sounds like a car.
So you're driving and you do a wheelie.
A very strong argument.
And the unicorn doesn't like jump up on its hind legs. It does a wheelie.
Like a boom.
Exactly. And flames are coming out of the hooves like they're tight. Yeah. And the same thing with the shark. There's a hammerhead shark. It makes no sense.
That's fucking great.
And you're at the starting line and the engines are revving. It's a hammerhead shark shaking with the engine sound.
Yep.
It's so good.
That's outstanding.
And when you get the body kit for the shark, it puts a laser on its head.
Oh, yep. I'm in. $40, you say?
$40.
Yeah.
The ability to race the 4 of us. It's been stupid fun. We haven't gone back to Mario Party at all because, I mean, by the time the new Mario Party comes out, we will have been done with Cruis'n Blast. But like, there's a whole set of like they're all like these different tours. Like, so there's the night tour, the courses at night. That's cute.
Yeah.
Then there's the natural disaster tour, which is like driving through hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff. There's a dinosaur tour where it's just 4 races with a bunch of freaking dinosaurs all over the place.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
You can unlock a UFO, which again drives like a car. So it's a floating, spinning UFO that drives with gravity. It's so stupid in the best of all possible ways. It is just stupid fun, but really, if you've got kids, anyone listening, I know a couple of our listeners, at least a couple of our listeners have kids. If you have kids of varying skill levels and you run into that problem with Mario Kart where no matter what you do, someone's always in dead last, get this game. It's easy enough for anyone to play. It has auto drive. It doesn't have auto steer, but it does have auto drive, which you can turn on. And you just turn that on at the very least, and you will always be close. They will never be so far behind that it's just completely uncatchable. She's 4, and she, without cheating or anything or anyone helping, she will regularly keep up with the other 2 playing. It's fantastic. This is the kind of stupid accessibility. This is exactly what this level of arcade racer needed to be. It is.
Yeah.
It's so much stupid fun.
Don't try to make Gran Turismo. Like, don't do that. Make something just absurd.
Exactly. Like, it's. I mean, I love Horizon Chase Turbo to death. I love it way more than I love Cruis'n Blast. But, you know, Ellie can't play Horizon Chase Turbo. That's
right.
It's too, not complicated, but it's too realistic of a racing game. Like, you have to run out of gas and do all these, like, it requires a high level of skill. This does not involve a high level of skill at all. This involves go fast, do stupid things that look really stupid and shiny. God, this game is shiny. It's so shiny.
That's like my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse. Fucking, god damn it. It's my wheelhouse is go fast and be stupid. You know, like that's kind of how I got through my teenage years.
That's my middle name.
That's right. Eyes closed, head first, can't lose. Like, that's 100% how I made it through life. Oh man, I love all of the words that just came out of your face. I'm very, very excited about everything you just said.
Yeah, it's like they really just took the Cruis'n formula and dialed it up. Like, because we've played it in the arcade before, but not like seriously, and never multiplayer. We've done a handful of races, and we just loved it. I think I talked about it when we did. It was like a year or so ago. We played in the arcade, and John was like, "This is great." We just had a freaking ball with it, and it translated to the Switch just almost as great as I could have imagined. Like, it could have used a little bit more visual polish. It's not quite as good looking as the arcade one.
Sure.
But again, who the fuck cares? It hits every note it needs
when
to, and it's fun.
When you've got a shark revving its engine, like, I don't think that visual polish is the thing you're going for.
The Triceratops is really special. Like, when you're doing the stunts, if you pull off a helicopter spin with the Triceratops, you just go off a jump, and the Triceratops is rotating.
Yeah. Again, everything you're saying is just spectacular.
We just unlocked the school bus this evening.
Oh, that's exciting.
The school bus was my favorite thing to ride in Cruis'n USA. Like,
yeah, that's like that is
this is
classic,
really stupid.
Classic Cruis'n.
So we got the school bus. So the first thing I did was like, all right, what color is going to be? Because everything can be a lot of colors. Like,
that's cool.
There's just a ton, and right off the bat, there's no unlocking for the colors. It's just change it whatever the colors you want. So we got the bus, and I was like, all right, I'm going to be a neon pink school bus. Let's do it.
Why not?
It was amazing.
And it was a good decision.
It was everything I could have wanted it to be. So yeah, Cruis'n Blast gets my highest recommendation. And the theme song is so catchy. It's so stupid catchy. Great game. I'm so glad it exists. I'm so pissed it's not in the top sellers on the eShop right now.
Really? That kind of is surprising.
Yeah, maybe it is by now, but it wasn't in the first, like, the day or two after it released. I was like, come on. I just feel like not enough people know about this game. Like, I keep seeing on Twitter the same, like, 4 or 5 people posting about it, and then always, like, 5 or 6 people in the comments, wait, is this a new Cruis'n game? Like, Cruis'n USA? Like, yes! Go buy it! Everybody go buy it! And I couldn't buy it. I didn't pre-order this game. I didn't think I had to, but nobody had it. None of my stores even got it. No store near me even got it on day one. So I ordered it from Best Buy, and it came in the mail the next day. I couldn't believe it. I figured for sure I would just go into Best Buy and get it on day one. Because why wouldn't stores order this game? I'm mystified by it. Like, this is not a brand that's nothing. Cruis'n USA was a big deal. Cruis'n Exotica was a big deal. They were arcade phenomena. They did great. There's so much nostalgia wrapped up in this. And as soon as somebody sees this font Cruis'n, like, that's going to sell. And I mean, my only guess is that any of these other retailers aren't buying it because they were burnt on the Wii Cruis'n game, which, I mean, but that it wasn't a Cruis'n game. It was literally the Fast and Furious arcade game that was reskinned as Cruis'n, so they didn't have to use that license, but also it didn't have that same font. It was just like the word Cruis'n on a box. This has the Cruis'n USA font going on. Like, it's very recognizable as a new Cruis'n game, and that it's not readily available in every Target, Best Buy, and Walmart is absurd to me. But even digitally, like, people got to buy this game. It's so much fun. It's so much fun and so stupid. But that accessibility multiplayer thing for families with kids, that is just the hugest of all possible selling points for me.
Yeah, no, that's big. That's very, very big.
Well, that's all I had. Axiom Verge, Cruis'n Blast, and Castlevania. That was my week, besides what we're going to talk about next. So I think it's time for us to take a break.
All right, let's take a break.
All right, we are going to take a break. Right now, we're going to do some
Let's take a break, Chris.
Unless we should take a break. Should we talk about the latest Tommy Tallarico extravaganza?
Oh, did he say some shit? I don't even care anymore.
It's Kotaku, I think, put up a new article just kind of like detailing the dumpster fire that has been what's going on with the Amico. They referred to it as a car crash. That was it.
Oh, Jesus.
And then
I'll read the art. I have not even had time to like browse the interwebs recently, like being so busy with work.
There was something in the comments. Some people were talking about their interactions with Mr. Tallarico allegedly over the years, and also found out that he follows a whole lot of like right-wing nut jobs on Twitter. So,
I mean, is that at all surprising?
It's not surprising to me. Just given what I know about his personality, like when he was on our show and he brought up, this is why Trump won in the election. I was like, okay. And he didn't go any further with it. So like, he didn't say he was pro or against, but I just had this kind of feeling like,
yeah.
Okay. So it doesn't surprise me.
There was a little bit of, It is like, it's still, man, and Tiff makes fun of me all the time. She's like, I mean, why are you surprised? But it still shocks me that people that are into the things that we are into, right? And to the levels that we are, because we are not unique in our bullshit, like even a little bit. But people that are into the things that we are into that are not progressive, like that are like hardcore trumpets, man, it just really surprises me every time. It's like, dude, you're a fucking nerd, man. Like, and like, own that. Like, that's cool. Don't like, it's not something to be ashamed of or anything, but I don't think you're really listening. I don't understand. It fucking baffles me, man. It baffles me how you could be like, I love all of these joyful things in the world and also fucking hate immigrants. Like, it's just a very strange, man. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well,
this is a whole tangent we don't need to go down.
No, we really don't. All right, so we're going to take ourselves a break. When we come back, we're going to finish off the summer series by talking about the NES classic Goonies II, which was a very interesting game. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around.
Come on, go cruising. Let's go cruising. Catch the buzz. Let's go cruising. Let's go cruising.
And now, here's a quick look at some of the other original content available now from our partners and Geekade.com.
First up, last week you got to hear my thoughts on the PlayStation event. As expected, the images Sony presented to the world pleased me in my loins. But what about people who aren't me and don't have my particularly Sony-attuned loins? Did the fellows over at the Weekend Rental Podcast enjoy the show as much as I did? Also, what exactly is Arcade Nirvana, and what kind of new toy line is Andy creating? Learn the answers to these questions and more in Weekend Rental episode 108, The Gamer's Next Gen. I don't know that they talk about their loins in that one.
But you talked about your loins enough to...
Enough about the loins. My
You
goodness.
talked about them enough to make up for the lack of loin discussion in their episode.
I mean,
Their
just talking about
presumptive lack.
the presumptive lack. I'm not
Because
sure.
we don't know.
No. Just talking about pork loin, Chris. I enjoy it.
Who doesn't? Next, video games and pigs. That's who doesn't.
Vegetarians?
Yeah, true.
Jewish people?
All right, that's fair. But besides
Sorry.
them,
Besides that very large section of people. Fucking billions of people that don't enjoy pork loin. Which is crazy because, like, pork roll is a thing that exists as well. Like, just don't eat pork. That's fucking weird. Just
next,
eat it. Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
video games.
Oh, you said don't offend people.
Pork
Sorry,
is a very
Chris. Going after the whole Jewish community now.
our last one off.
Good God.
Just heading into some very Dean directions here.
Really fucking is.
Oh, goodness. All right. Video games are very collectible items. And you know what else is collectible? Vinyl. So
I was going to say
cross-section-
Beanie Babies.
pork.
Pork,
collectible.
pork loin, very collectible. Taylor ham, pork roll? Fuck you, it's not Taylor ham.
Do
don't-
you open them or do you keep them in the package?
your pork rolls? Yeah. I've got hella vintage pork roll. In NFTs? I don't know. Am I doing that right? I'm not sure. I'm invested in pork roll and Bitcoin. I'm not sure if either of those were a wise choice.
Oh, man. Be careful. You're going to get big pork rolling on the coming after us.
Whatever. It's fine.
Anyway, vinyl and video games are both collectible things, so the cross-section of video games and vinyl is quite a lucrative one. It's also incredibly cool and incredibly niche audience. In an all-new episode of Stone Age Gaming, I show off some of the interesting video game-related records I've amassed over the years, including a classic NES game soundtrack, a Mario record that's square instead of a circle, and the narrated story of Atari's Asteroids on vinyl.
That's
Head
weird.
over. Yeah, it's weird. Got two of them. They're weird.
So I've got them. I've got the two they made.
There's a third one. There was a Missile Command as well. I'm trying to
Ooh.
get one for a reasonable price, but it hasn't happened. Anyway, head on over to the Stone Age Gamer YouTube channel and check out Stone Age Gaming video games on vinyl.
You know, I was looking around at Instagram. There's a really good Instagram follow called Mega Man Cave. Yeah, it's good. Lots of Mega Man shit, obviously. And he posted a thing he got in the mail the other day, and he was like, "I'm so excited that this finally came in. I ordered it like whatever ago, and it was the Mega Man X 1 through 8 vinyl soundtrack collection." And I was like, well, that is super cool. They have to have the original Mega Man. I'm going to get that for Kris and just, like, send it to him. And then I went to find it, and I was like, that shit is $400 now. I am not just going to get that for Kris and send it to him. But if you are ever sitting on an extra $400, Kris, there is a Mega Man 1 through 11 collection on vinyl. And they look really cool.
Huh.
So, anyway. I don't currently have an extra $400 to drop, though. I'm very sorry.
Wow.
I apologize.
Wow. How did I miss this?
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, they were pre-ordered and, like,
when did
special
it come
limited
out?
things. I didn't even know.
When the
I don't
hell
know how I
did this
didn't know.
happen? Oh my goodness, this is wonderful.
Isn't it? Like, you have to have it at some point.
Oh my god, this is just stupid.
But,
Well,
like...
here's the thing. Who did this is the question. Like, I'm just looking
Rhino?
at eBay
I don't know.
listings.
Who makes records anymore?
Well, because the a while back Ninja Gaiden was put on vinyl, and I thought I basically missed that opportunity. But then all of a sudden, last year, it showed up on limited run, so I pre-ordered it.
Huh.
Now it hasn't shown up in the mail yet, but it's entirely possible that at some point this will happen again. Let's see.
Sure.
LacedRecords.com. Limited edition 6 LP box set. I mean, this was already $110 to start with.
I mean, but that sort of, like, felt like an okay price.
Oh, yeah. For, what is it, a 6 vinyl set?
Yeah.
That's a pretty decent price to... Wow, the artwork on these is great. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, the artwork's cool.
Oh, my goodness. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
When the hell did this happen? And how did it get by me?
Shocked. But I had never heard you mention it, and I was like, I've never heard of this. Kris has never brought it up. I'm going to be a good friend. And no, I'm not. But I'll be a decent friend and tell you about it.
And tell me that, let me know it exists.
There you go. All right, you Google or...
Yeah, I'm
or
already trying to figure this out.
gaggle. I'll read this last commercial. Finally, after a brief hiatus, speaking about Mega Man records, this week's episode is back, and the crew hits the news desk hard. How hard, you may be saying to yourself? Well, so hard that Kris Randazzo, host of this here podcast, couldn't even handle the hosting duties on this week's episode, so Evan brought the hardness excuse me, all over the hard news that was suitable to discuss. There's professions of love, confessionals even of love for Ted Lasso, which just won some shit at the Emmys, I think. Thoughts on wardrobe realism in relation to the upcoming live-action Cowboy Bebop, and the looking threat of their next episode. Is that supposed to say looking threat? I don't know. About Ultra City Smiths. Looming. I thought looming made more sense, but I'm just going to say, and the looking threat of their next episode about Ultra City Smiths. Conflicting opinions are on the horizon, Chase Turbo, but for now, you can enjoy the peaceful coexistence of the Twepcasters in this week's episode 237, a series of patches.
For all this great content from us and our partners, be sure to keep your eyes on Geekade.com.
It's just a bunch of episodes about Wolverine wearing an eye patch. It's weird.
Yar.
Yar.
All right, welcome back. It is, we kind of sort of did summer series this year.
Yeah, it really, not our best work.
Look, life happened, all right? There's a lot of life happening this summer, and we survived, but the summer series, it took a bit of a hit, and that's fine. We still play games for the summer series, and this last one...
I don't even remember.
We did. What the hell did we do this year? We played, like, at least 2 other ones. I'm sure of it.
It's bad that we can't remember, Kris.
What the hell did we play?
I have an excuse because I'm drinking. So...
Wait, that's not it. All right, so I'm going to go to our website. I'm going to go to geekade.com. I'm going to click on Stone Age Gamer Podcast. Let's see. We did... Oh, this one. The hell was this game called? Clash at Demon Head. right? We did Clash of
this
Demons.
one. Yeah, that was like a month ago. Shit.
Yeah, that wasn't even that long ago. All right, there was
God,
that
it feels
one.
like it was forever ago.
I feel like there was another one too.
This
Yeah,
this last
Avenging
week
Spirit.
was a long year.
It
An
really
Avenging
was.
Spirit, yeah.
Avenging Spirit, yeah. And I think that
That was
it.
really cool too.
Yeah.
I like that
Avenging
one.
Spirit and Clash of Demon Head. And now Goonies 2. That's a summer series. Nailed it.
Yeah, that's it. No, fuck it. We're excellent. Outstanding at what we do.
Didn't miss a step.
So, this game, right? Goonies 2. A sequel to a game that nobody played. Because it was on the Play Choice 10 cabinets.
Yes. It was released on Famicom in Japan, but the only way it came to
Yeah,
America was on the Play Choice 10 arcade cabinets. So it never released on NES officially.
Which is fucking weird.
It is, right?
The Goonies was big.
Yeah, and like it was big in America too.
Yeah, like big here. That's what I mean. Like it was, like it's still big. You know, like you can go to a store right now and get Funko Pops and T-shirts and all types of Goonies merch. So the fact that we never got the original game was weird. But then, like, I remember going into like a fucking like a Carrefour or like some service merchandise, some weird ass store that used to be back in the day, being like, Goonies 2? Like, is there? Did I miss something? Like, I'm 8, so I probably did.
No, I just
know what
straight
I mean?
up
Like
assumed it was a sequel to the movie.
Yeah,
I just
that's what,
straight up
like,
was like, oh, this is the follow-up to the movie. That's neat.
I was like, there must have been a movie that I missed. Maybe it came out in a different cut. Like, I looked for it. It was like Spaceballs 3, The Search for More Money. Where the fuck is this shit? I can't find. And anyway, so like, but it's a Konami game. I was like, all right, I like Konami games. I'm gonna rent this game. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna take this home. I'm gonna play Goonies 2. And as a little kid, I played through a lot of this game and never really understood what the hell I was doing at all.
Yeah, me neither.
That's obtuse.
That is exactly why I was so interested in this, because I always just felt like, all right, if I just had the opportunity to sit down and play this, then I would be able to figure this out and really get it. And my one
spoiler,
my one big note for this game was I'm too old for this shit.
I was at both of my experiences with Goonies are I was too young and I am too old.
This was I don't mean any disrespect at all to this game. This is a very cool game.
Yes.
It is a very interesting game, and if I had played this more when I was a kid and my friends and I were trying to figure it out, like just putting in the hours of going into those rooms, mapping it all out, paying attention to trying to make sense of the map in the game and figuring out what's in each room and taking notes and going into those first person segments and just banging on every flat surface in hopes that something will show up, and then finding some weird shoe or a bomb box and being like, all right, what does this do? Like,
I have bombs now, I guess. That's cool.
It reminded me so much of Pete-a-thon playing the Indiana Jones game on 2600. It was like, this is nuts, but if I was a kid, figuring this out would be so much fun. But as an adult, I just don't have it in me to do this anymore.
Because it just doesn't help you at all.
At all. There's just no direction. And not like in a Metroid, there's no direction. Because like playing the original NES Metroid, yeah, there's no direction, but there's also only so many things you can do. And only so many places
there's a
you
logical
can go.
Progression.
Yeah.
Of point A to point B in that game.
Goonies 2 does not have that. It's just
at all.
I played about an hour and change, and I was like, and I was trying to follow along with a written guide. And I was like, even this is too much. So then I just watched the rest of it. I was like, I can't do this, but I want to know what the rest of this game is. I just want to follow it. And so I watched the rest of it. I put up a YouTube playthrough, and I'm watching this thing like, you have got to be kidding me. There's just hidden doors all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, just get on this moving platform and press up at the right moment, and you'll open an invisible door in a wall. Like,
because why not?
Because
with a superhero that refills your energy,
right?
Unless you hit him, and then he will no longer refill your energy,
which is nuts. You get like the spring shoes that make you jump high, and so there's all this like really quick menu navigation and stuff. And there's the whole front and back mechanic is really interesting. Like, it's really, really interesting. There's so much cool in this game. But it would have definitely been for me if I had played through it when I was younger. But as an adult now, going to this game blind, like, if I had a crew of people with me to help, like if I had like 2 or 3 friends and we were playing this as a group just for days on end, it's like that's the only way I could imagine this being fun. But like playing this by myself, going into those rooms and just being like, all right, hit that. No. All right, hit that. No. Well, let's hit that. No. Oh, that made a hole show up in the ceiling. How do I get through that? Oh, you need a ladder. Okay, so I found the ladder. Now I poke this thing that makes a hole show up. Then I place the ladder. Then I climb up there. Where the hell am I?
What is even... How did the Fratellis get such an intricate hideout?
I mean, they hid those Goonies.
They really did.
They wanted those kids dead.
They put them in walls and then bricked up the wall.
And like, in a way that made the walls look like they hadn't been touched in generations.
I mean, it is... I think my biggest issue with this game, apart from all the everything about it, because I do like it. Like, that's the thing. I do like it because it's kind of cool. But like what I found really frustrating, and it came back to me as I was playing through it again, was that the weapons that you get, right? You start off with a yo-yo, which is like, that's cool, right? Yo-yo is a weapon. I'm gonna fucking hit some gangsters in the face with my yo-yo, and they're gonna fall down and cry and kick their little leggy legs. That's gonna be awesome. But then you get a slingshot, which is cool, and you get a boomerang, which is cool, but they are no more powerful than the yo-yo.
Yeah, they just hit differently.
Yeah.
They give you range and stuff like that.
And it's like that, okay, but, you know, and like I always found that kind of stuff to be really frustrating because there were visual cues for that. You had different weapons, but they didn't do anything. But as you go through the game, you get like a football helmet that makes you take less damage, and a bulletproof vest at some point, and a rainproof coat, and like all of these different things that make it so that like the waterfalls don't hurt you anymore, and you know, like you take less damage, and all these different status effects. But there is no visual change. Like your pants and your hair are still the same color, which is an odd fashion choice, but like whatever, that's fine. Mikey can do what he wants. I don't know, that always bothered me as a kid, and like still bothers me as an adult. Like there's no strategy to it, you know, there's no like incentive or like sense of progression. You are just meandering through this world until you, like if you are not playing it with a guide, like you said, until you kind of happen across like, all right, well, I punched this wall and a crate with an F on it came out. What the fuck does that do? I got a magic locator. Okay, this map doesn't make any sense, though. Like, God damn it.
This place is a warp zone? What does that mean? This place is a warp.
And who are all those people?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? You just old people. Like, are you previous children that have grown up in the Fratelli compound? Because, like, that's kind of dark and scary. It's a fucking weird game, man. It's a weird-ass game. And, like, as cool as I think it is, going back to it now, like, I don't recommend anybody play it.
Yeah, it's hard to recommend playing it. And this is, what's crazy is that this is, like, This is less obtuse than the original Goonies.
Which is absurd.
Yeah, like the original Goonies is very much an arcade game designed to eat your quarters kind of a thing. Like that.
Right.
It's just like, what the hell? And this one,
it just is what it is.
This one's definitely an evolution, and it is a very interesting game. It is such a wacky and interesting concept. Like, this was a really ambitious thing. It was released in 1987, November of 87. It was the sequel to Japan Goonies. It was developed by Konami, which means the music was done by Seto Terashima.
And it's
who also
great.
did the Castlevania and Castlevania NES, Vampire Killer for MSX, Russian Attack for NES, Life Force. The music in this game is all wonderful. Like the main level theme is this 8-bit rendition of The Goonies Are Good Enough by Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's
it's just outstanding.
It is. And then everything else is just classic Konami NES music, which really helps get through the game. When I first played this as a kid, this game like really disturbed the heck out of me.
Really?
So like the movie, kind of scared me a bit as a kid. Like I was afraid of Sloth. But
that's racist.
Well, you know me.
I do indeed.
It was the music.
Absolute monster.
When you go into the houses, like not the houses, like the first person segments, that music just was really unnerving to me as a kid. It's still like some of the spookiest music I've ever heard. That room music is so eerie.
It's really good though.
Because it's wonderful. It's phenomenal, but it makes you feel so lost. And when playing the game as a kid, in the brief amounts of time that I got with it, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We couldn't figure out what we were supposed to be doing, and we were lost in the game. And we knew we only had a little bit of time. And then you go into these houses or these rooms that are just so mysterious. It was such a creepy, eerie song. And it was really unsettling when I was younger. None of my friends owned this.
Yeah.
So like I didn't have anyone around where we could all just get together and try and figure this freaking game out because it's fun to play.
I never could.
It is definitely like the mechanic, like the combat, the jumping is not, it's not great, but it's fun enough to play. And it's a really interesting series of concepts. I just don't think it quite works. And it's so weird that it's tied to the Goonies license. That this is a Goonies game is just weird to me.
That this is a sequel.
Yeah.
To a game that you didn't play. And that, like, why is Annie a mermaid? Why am I in a frozen tundra? Why the fuck is there a walrus? And a dragon that spits fire at some point? Like, what the fuck
of questions
is going on? There's knights.
Definitely a weird game.
It's
oh my god, right, the knights. Yeah, that was weird. What are they doing down there?
I just don't know. It is a game that is begging for the boy and his blob treatment. Yeah. Like, because that game is obtuse as fuck, and it doesn't really work. And, like, it got remade, and it was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Like, this is really cool.
And, like, it doesn't need to be just remade. It needs to be properly rebooted. Like, this
it just has to be made the first time. Because this is just a collection of ideas that don't tie together in any form or fashion.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, this is just, what if we did this now? Why the fuck am I underwater? Why am I shooting a shark with a spear? What is happening?
The underwater stuff was really cool. I like you get the scuba suit, and the underwater mechanics were very joust, like you got your harpoon out the whole time. You just kind of ram into things. This is pretty neat.
Yeah, God, it just, I can't in good faith recommend anybody play it. And I really didn't think that's where we were going to get with this. I thought we were going to play through it and be like, This is awesome. You should definitely play. But
I'm going to amend that to say I can't recommend anybody try to play this game through to conclusion. I do think it is worth trying. Or at least watching a video of. Like, it's such an interesting... You know what? Watch Jeremy Parrish's NES Works about Goonies 2. Watch that. And if that convinces you that you really need to try this, and if that is enough to convince you to really want to try it, then maybe give that a spin. But it just doesn't quite work. But damn, is that music good?
Yeah. Yeah, listen to the soundtrack, watch a video. Don't put yourself through it.
Yeah, it's more of an like. How far did you get?
I got. See, that's the hard thing because like I got most of the shit that I needed. Like I rescued the kids. I was playing with a walkthrough as well. I rescued the kids, except for Annie. She was the last, and then like the walkthrough, I just couldn't figure out like, the fuck am I going to get her? Like I just gave up, like you did.
Yeah, I got to a point where I was just the walkthrough. Yeah, like some of the directions I couldn't quite follow. It's like, all right, I'm going there, but I'm not seeing what you're talking about, and I don't know how to backtrack to try to figure out what you're talking about because there's so many different directions that I could go right now. Yeah, I'm just lost. I give up.
Yeah. I do think it's interesting. Yeah, looking at some of the stages and whatnot, like you can see some of the Konami DNA that ended up in stuff like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like you can see some similar designs and whatnot. There's some Castlevania adjacent elements, and when you're looking, you're like, well, I've seen that fucking pixel before, right? You know, like there was definitely like a Konami style and feel to this that was really cool, but yeah, it just, I don't know, like I said, and that's the weird thing, like to answer, so short answer made long to your question, I don't really fucking know how close I was.
Well, if you rescued all the kids, you were almost there.
I mean, like I feel like I was almost there, but how much longer would it have taken me to get there is the question, because like I watched the video and people are just going through and like, oh, this room, that room, blah blah blah, you know, whatever. Like it would have taken me another 6 weeks to fucking figure that shit out.
Well,
yeah, it's obtuse.
Yeah,
there's a room with an Eskimo, and you go in there and he says, "I'm Eskimo. There's nothing here." Okay, fuck, cool, dude. It's weird.
Did this have to be here?
It's a weird game, man. It's a weird... You can, like, call on the transceiver at certain times, and it'll be like, this is Konami. We have faith in you. Like, all right, thanks, man. But, like, give me a fucking map that makes sense. Or, like, some direction. Or, man, I don't even know. I really want somebody to fucking take this game and make it make sense.
Yeah, that would be really interesting.
Yeah. Huh. All right. I like to end the show on a kind of note. Yeah. I feel like we've done that.
That's where we are. That's
our
neat.
show.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. You're right. That is our show. Join us next week when we'll be doing the September 10, 20, 30, 40.
Already? My goodness.
I mean, it's actually kind of a little bit late because next week, you know, by the time the episode airs will be October 1st, I think. So
yeah,
we're a little
on my
behind.
birthday.
Yeah,
my birthday on October 2nd. Woo!
Ooh, Ellie's birthday is October 1st.
I know.
We're so close to sharing a birthday.
I know. Karen couldn't fucking make that happen though. She couldn't wait one more day.
She just couldn't have it on.
No. Fucking nonsense. Boy. And we didn't even do anything for the GameCube. So, because we're terrible.
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about it on the 10, 20, 30, 40. Just like
no, I know, but like, it's the GameCube. I feel like that should have gotten... I don't know.
Well, we do. We did the Super Nintendo launch on the 10, 20, 30, 40. Well, we'll cover that here.
That's a fair point.
It's not like we missed the 360 episode.
No, that's true.
We're never going to get that back.
No.
It's gone. There's not going to be another 360.
We can do it on the 720 episode. A look back at the 360.
Yeah. And we'll just mention every game twice.
So in another 8 years, you guys fucking stay tuned for that one.
All right.
Shit.
We are on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, the Geekade Patreon, which helps keep this show running week after week, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making this show listenable for all you folks, and we'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.